Hey, welcome back. I'm Ryan Kime, and this is my live stream for Gut Health for Beginners. Thanks so much for following me along. We're now on number 5, and I want to bring you up to speed. But before we do that, today's topics are going to include one of my favorite aspects of this, and that are my weekly foundational topics on holistic nutrition and wellness. So every week, I've taken, prioritized, and we discuss uh, uh, core topics that I think are going to transform your understanding and your ability to adhere and follow a holistic nutrition whole foods diet. These are exciting, and I'm going to go through each one of them. I'm going to break them down month by month. The 30-day program gets the first 4, the 90-day program gets 12, and the 180-day premier program gets 24, including some of my anti-aging and stem cell regeneration topics, which are really hot and exciting. Let's start, but before we start, I want to give you a tip of the day. Let's share some more value. Don't use salt. You heard me. Don't use salt. Well, what do you mean, Dr. Kime? Or what do you mean, Ryan? I don't care about the formalities. What isn't salt part of every part of our cell? Yes, it is. But what I want you to do is start thinking about using salt with trace minerals, like a Celtic sea salt or a Redmond's sea salt is the version I use. And what it has is like 82 of the trace minerals that are not found in this manufactured salt, which is this sodium chloride. So everything like manganese, chromium, you're going to get some all these are going to be important, maybe even a little bit of iodine. It's going to be important to your body. And then we'll talk about other multivitamins, like a fulvic acid based multivitamin rather than just a multivitamin that's synthetic across the store. But today's tip for you is please look for like a Celtic sea salt or Redmond sea salt, something with the trace minerals. It'll help your body function optimally. All right, let's dive in. So as I said, I'm going to bring it back up to speed. And where are you? We're going through my 90-day coaching program because I think these are my very best recommendations of how I would get a beginner started going 0 to 1 successfully on a holistic nutrition diet and heal their gut. We started back the last couple of live streams going through a holistic nutrition and wellness assessment, and we talked about a vision statement. And this is kind of to establish where we are, our understanding, perceptions of health and wellness in ourselves. And then the last video, we talked about kind of what tools I will use to help get you there. We talked about my recipe bundle, 30 days of recipes that are customizable, and then we'll upgrade the ingredients so that they're according to your preferences, not mine. I think that's the key. And that's what's going to transform you. They're not my recipes, they're your recipes, your preferences. And let's talk about how we can make them the best possible, low inflammatory, and optimize your gut health. In addition to that, I talked about the 6 books that I offer, and that's like the core material, that's the background, starting with the holistic gut health. I walk through the 6 steps of how I transform your and reset your gut into a healthy, functional microbiome. We talked about the 30 days of recipes, the 30 days of meal planning and shopping lists. I talked about the antioxidant guide, the lifestyle guide, and then what I thought was the real ringer and value was the detox guide for optimal health. But today, and that was the background, that was in all the preparatory week. This is all the value, all the information I get for you to set up. And then we go through your kitchen as well. I forgot to mention that. I give you a kitchen upgrade, and I'll do it on video with you. And now it starts. So now we start the 30, the 90, the 180 program. And every week I want to meet with you. I'll send this out early. You get these topics in a PDF format. They're easy to read. They're highlighted with bullets so you can really cut to the chase of what you want to need or review. And then I can discuss them with you in the weekly topics. We're going to meet for 20 to 30 minutes based on check your updates, help address your obstacles, and then talk about some of these important topics. So I want to explain to you what they are. Today, we're going to talk about 4, and they're going to be whole foods and label reading, gut microbiome diversity and optimization, embracing change and mindset shifts. I just think it's so important, and I'll explain why when we go over it. And chronic stress and cortisol management, because it's ubiquitous and it has such devastating effects. I believe it is one of the major precursors to disease in our body. So those are the topics we'll go through today. It's exciting. I didn't learn this in medical school. And now I can't think of a disease process, but more so a health process that I wouldn't include this, and that's whole foods. What is a whole food? Think of it as like a mono ingredient. Think of it as a single ingredient. You have spinach, you have an apple, right? It's not a sauce that you have out of a jar with multiple ingredients. So when you think about a whole foods diet, you're thinking about less processed foods and getting things more like a farm to a table, right? Out of the ground without any processing. And part of the food industry, and I don't want to get into the political discussion, but the idea is for farmers to sell it more beyond their local community or potentially for taste or decoration or profit or other things, right? They're going to have to put preservatives, additives, emulsifiers, thickeners, all these synthetic, artificial, man made kind of extractions, ingredients into the foods that may be mono ingredients to then put them out in a granola bar. So the granola bar may have mono ingredients, but it definitely has additives, preservatives, artificial, and these are all pro-inflammatory to your gut. They're exactly what you don't want to do. Your gut is going to see them and it may say, "Oh, they taste good. Wow, this granola bar is really exciting." From one of the addictive ingredients, they may have dyes that are carcinogenic and your gut is going to get inflamed. And now all the unwanted particles inside your gut that should be either the plastics, the debris, the foreign particles, or the infectious particles, right? We don't want them up in our bloodstream. But if your gut's inflamed, those junction between those cells opens up, and now you get those particles that should be inside your gut up past your intestinal wall and into your bloodstream. And that's where lots of disease. So taking out these pro-inflammatory additives that are part of the preservative so that the food can be put on a shelf or shipped or sustained longer. Like, how long do you think those Triscuits on the shelf in the grocery store have been there? Been at the grocery store, let alone when they were actually boxed, let alone what they were boxed with. But start thinking about that. That's like the general idea is if you want to last longer or you want to be more presentable in some other way. So that's the deal with the whole foods. They are not pro-inflammatory. Now there are some that we're going to stay away from, like for instance, how is spinach grown, and is if it's organic, right? So glyphosate is a very popular. It's a pesticide that's used by farmers. It's like Roundup, and it eradicates all the pests to allow the largest yield of the plants, and spinach being one of them. The problem with like oxalate is it gets taken into the plant, and it's a pro-inflammatory, and it's going to be like damaging to our bodies, and you can't be washed off like a number of the other pesticides. So it will, on the farmer side for production, it will increase yield, but on the consumer side, it's damaging. It kills us. So we can't get glyphosate in our bodies. So now you have to look, and it's not just organic spinach. Let's really trace it back and look at the farm. Let's see if we can find a way to verify that some of these chemicals haven't been put on top of the plants where they didn't absorb and then we absorb into our body, cause a pro-inflammatory state, leads to disease. Maybe not one time, but if you think about it, a lot of our foods we eat repetitively, and things that we do repetitively, like brushing our teeth, same types of food sources, we want to make sure they're totally clean because micro margins will add up and be accumulative. Moving on, I don't want to get digressed, but we can talk about subjects like this. I love it. Second week, we're going to get into the microbiome diversity and optimization. Oh, I can't even get started here. The microbiome is your brain. It's like smarter than you are, right? I was just talking to someone yesterday. I said, the small intestine, it's like a flight tower down there. They have neurons connected through the vagus nerve and through hormonal feedback like neuropods. You listen to some Andrew Huber he's a neuroscientist out of Stanford, does a little bit on like biohacking and neuroscience, talks about like addiction and craving. He's talking about the research where you have neuropods that are extensions of the vagus nerve into the intestine that are searching out for molecules and deciding and responding to sugar cravings and dopamine. It goes directly to your brain. So it's almost like behavioral. Someone like you're led. So if you're not consciously aware of what you're eating, you're going to be led by cravings. Fascinating science. So yes. So what's a healthy microbiome? A balanced one. And it's not necessarily like this, but it's a good and bad bacteria. It's a simple way to think about it, and also a diverse range of microorganisms in your microbiome. And what happens is through stress, alcohol, smoking, environment, antibiotics, medications, and a number of other factors, we start to actually eradicate certain strains that help protect us and keep us diverse. Our microbiome helps us convert vitamins, protects us with antimicrobial properties from foreign infections. It helps keep the gut lining repaired and low inflammation, helps with our immunity. 70% of our immunity is in our small intestine. 90% of our serotonin is produced in our gut. And this is produced by a healthy, balanced, diverse microbiome. So if you're supporting your body's functions and you see how important the microbiome is behind that, then you're really going to understand why whole foods and taking out the processed foods and looking at some of the inflammation is going to be really vital to your gut health and your overall health. So continuing, so that was week 2, week 3, embracing change in mindset. I have to put this in. I have to. Is that related to gut health? And I thought, yes, but no, but yes, but no. And I said, absolutely. For this to stick, you have to be a good student. And it doesn't mean agree with me. It doesn't mean follow everything I do. It means level up in the way that works for you. And that's why I've seen a lot of people succeed with different diets. Applying a one size fits all diet is not going to work for everyone. It needs to be the way that they upgrade, they evolve. Now, I've seen people change and flip and do 180, and I've seen just people upgrade their own diet into healthier choices, but still say carnivore, or still say vegan, or still say omnivore. I don't even like to label myself. I just enjoy lots of foods and I want to make sure the healthiest choices. It's really fun. So I don't like to label myself. And then let's move on. So, week 4, this is a really important one. And this is an insidious one that really affects everything. And it's chronic stress and cortisol management. Cortisol management then ties right into blood sugar management. And I'm not just going to talk about lifestyle factors and stress. I'm going to talk about how that impacts your gut and what that does to your body and your health. Because if your gut is impacted negatively and not working because of the stress, then your gut health is going to suffer. And then your lifestyle and your health is going to suffer. So you're going to see all this ties together, and it's going to make, I hope, tie more value into understanding why you do things and what choices you'll make. So exciting. That's the first month. Let's get you total. And in addition to that, answer any of your questions. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you get over that hurdle where you can stand in the grocery store and say, I know what I want to eat. I'm confident in the sources. I'm excited. I have resources if I have questions. And I've done this before. I already feel the momentum. I feel how good the results I'm getting back. So next time I want to share some more personal stories. This is getting long. Thanks again. We're going to go through the next month of topics, and I'll see you then. Take care now. Remember, if you heal your gut, you can change your life. Bye.